Ryan, mainstream media wants us to believe that we're in a bubble, but all of the facts, all of the data that we bring to the 94 Niners every week says that we are not. How are you feeling about what you're hearing in the news?
Yeah, I mean, we'll dive into it a little bit, but this is two different scenarios, right? I don't want anyone to think what's happening now is similar or related to what happened in 07, 05, 04 when, people, those ninja loans, no credit, no income verification, you were just getting whatever you wanted for loans. That's not the case, right? We're in an inventory issue. So we'll go deep into maybe a little bit more how that exactly what happened in 07, 08, how this all collapsed.
So Google searches for the housing bubble soared during the month of March, and that has a lot to do with the interest rates, which we were talking about the last couple of weeks, because everyone sees those rates go up and everyone automatically assumes that it's doomsday. But we are here to tell you that it is not doomsday. It is actually a good thing. It's going to bring some balance back to the market, and hopefully it will help us get caught up with that inventory crisis that you mentioned. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest here. We have a one-team agent with, like I mentioned before, with 37 years in the business, Mary Pula, on the line with us today. How you doing today, Mary?
I am fabulous. Good morning, guys, and thanks for having me on board today.
Good morning.
So, Mary, go ahead and give us a little bit of background. When did you get into real estate? What year was that?
Well, I started the classes and actually working for a large real estate firm in 1984 and sort of launched myself in 85. So that would be the mini synopsis on that. And then the rest is history. Boots on the ground, kept doing it the old-fashioned way. Talk about pre-90s with computers. We didn't even have half of this stuff to work with. And in fact, a lot of us get together once in a while, some of the veterans, and we'll talk about the infamous MLS book we used to carry around, and that had the inventory, and we were the key to knowing that inventory. That's like a throwback that most people can't even remember. But so then sequentially, I went from doing strictly real estate on the residential level to ultimately management, ownership, mentorship, and it's been a great career.
The real estate book. And here Ryan and I are sitting here arguing over a touchscreen on a computer. And back in the day, they had to carry a book of business around, literally, not figuratively, a literal book. Literally the book.
And to make it even worse, it was a book that was printed once a month. And then they went to bi-weekly. So that's how you got your updates.
That's unreal. And Mary, I think about this all the time too, because especially in today's day market, when we can see houses all over the state, and sometimes we're driving a little farther than normal. I just wonder, like Chaz was saying at the beginning of the show, I've only been in Connecticut for about 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. How did agents not have GPS and find all these houses and be on time? I have basically a phone telling me where to go. Right. And I'm still sometimes late. Was it just constantly asking direct? It boggles my mind because sometimes I'm in the middle of nowhere in East Haddam and I'm like, how would I ever find this?
Well, I'll tell you, that question brings a big smile to my face because I'm going to tell you earnestly, and I'm a stickler about professionalism. I would do a dry run on occasions where there was an intense schedule on the board for a particular client on a particular day. Therefore, you didn't miss the turns, the left, the right. And I'll tell you, and I'm still laughing internally here, Montville Manor to me was one of the scariest places to visit early on in my career, because when you go from Texas to Connecticut, make a right on Idaho, make a left on Ohio, to finally get to Florida, it was the most daunting little subdivision to show a bunch of houses in. And the worst thing you could do is make the wrong turn and have to repeat and circle all in this subdivision, which in many instances might have had 3 or 4 of the 8 or 9 you were going to show. So I literally had a handwritten agenda. And if I thought I might be intimidated by timing, I would do a dry run so that I was prepared for the client, so that, I didn't look like I didn't know what I was doing. And that was not going to happen. So that's what I did. And talk about time intense.